We're in the middle of building our dream campervan, and I want to find out whether it is cheaper to build our own kitchen unit instead of buying one. That is for two reasons. One, I want to see if I can save some money, and two, I also want to design it to make it as lightweight as possible. So join me in the garage as we build our kitchen unit, and we'll be sure to update the door of pain to see how much this actually costs.
I'm Matt, and this is Skye. Together with Ginny and Little Man, we are going to build the ultimate adventure van and travel the world. If you're new to the channel, why not subscribe and join us on this epic new adventure? This is A Buck Life.
Today we are working on our kitchen unit, and as I said in the intro, there's a couple of reasons why I want to build this instead of buying one. However, in hindsight, part of me does wish, well, it would have saved a lot of time. So those reasons are, one, I want to see if we can save a little bit of money.
Having a look around on the internet, we can see that prices start from just over £1,000 and go up to nearly £2,000 for something more bespoke.
Two, I want to make it as lightweight as possible, and I've got a couple of ideas of how I'm going to do that. And three, we've also got a pretty individual design. It's not groundbreaking, but we've got specific demands, so there's nothing off the shelf that we could buy to stick in there. We would have to get something made bespoke. For the build, we are going to be using lightweight campervan 15mm plywood, and the colour we've gone for is Arctic blue. It has got a film on there. I don't know if it is quite as shiny as this. It's basically like a bluey grey. I've cut myself so far 3 of the end panels. I'm now going to trim these down to the correct height, get them in position, see how they look, and then we will join them all together. This piece is to go around the wheel arch, so I'm just going to jigsaw this out. Does it fit? No, not quite. Nearly though. Panel number 1 in, dush. Panel number 2 in, like that. Panel number 3, oh no, hang on. Fridge goes here. There you go. Look at the
nice.
Look at the fitment.
Yeah, super.
The fitment.
Super duper.
And then another panel here. Panel number 3 in. Not in, but cut.
This is our kitchen. Done. Right, let's go.
Next steps, I'm going to T-trim these front edges, 1, 2, 3. Then I'm going to put in some supports to keep these separate at the right length.
Time to break out the trusty palm router again, and then it's just a case of tapping in the T-trim.
Ooh. Nothing there. Nice little tip for trimming off this T-trim. Sharp Stanley blade, flush against that edge there, and go just into the T section, and then come up from the bottom and take it the rest of the way. And that, I'm finding, gets a pretty nice finish. Just going to pocket hole on some dividers. Oh, just had a right cock up. Just screwed through the holes through the other side with the bloody pocket holes. Sometimes that thing, when you clamp it down, it jumps from the 15 to the 19, and then you put the screws in and then they bloody go through. Panel done. Spacers in. Little plinth in as well. Let's see how it looks. A little update for you. The 3 end panels, 1, 2, 3 end panels are now in position. T-trim is on the front. These supports are in, but I haven't attached this yet. But I have removed some of that there, just for weight saving really. And I'm going to do the same once it's all kind of cut and together-ish. I'm probably going to just take the jigsaw and remove loads of unseen panels, because in here we don't need this for weight. Like, you know, same goes for some of this. Like, you'll only see that, so some of this can be removed for weight and ventilation for the fridge. Next step is smaller sink unit going in here, although I'm just waiting for Ginny to get back to tell me how big. I know we've marked it out, but how big this actually needs to be to fit the sink that she's bought. So before I do anything on the laminated lightweight ply, because it's so expensive per sheet, I am cutting and making a template out of some 9mm ply that I had lying around from my floor experiment, so it's just waste wood. Then I'm just transferring that to the laminated plywood once I'm happy with it. This just helps to ensure that I'm not wasting any wood. It's in. I couldn't decide what to do on this bottom edge here. I don't want water to track up the bottom of this, so I've put a bit of T-trim on there. In here, I'm not using the spirit level to see if it's level, but I am just using it to see if it is aligned with the other panels, and at the moment that is bang on. This one piece has taken me hours to cut template. Really is tricky. I've made a second template now for this front panel here. One decision I was battling with was, do you have this panel here straight up like we've gone for, or do you put it on a bit of an angle, which means you get a slightly better fit to the van down here? Anyway, I've gone for straight because just feel like all in all it'll probably just be easier to finish everything nicely. And then what I have actually done is carpeted behind there with some of the suede liner, because you could just see that little bit of metal work. Next job is I'm going to transfer this onto a piece of the lightweight 15mm and then cut that out. Quick update, because time in my world compared to the video world goes a lot slower. These are all screwed in. This back support is in. These two panels are now in. This is all screwed into each other so I know distances. And that is what it looks like. There's going to be a bench seat here, so there's yet more to come on this section. But I do feel like we're starting to make a little bit of progress on this kitchen, because it's painfully hard working it out. I should have got somebody to build it for me. New day, it is rainy and grey, but kitchen units are in. Next step is bench storage seat here that you can access from above or from the outside. Let's go on with that. Annoying, the rain has arrived, so box production has been ceased, which means got to do inside jobs. So I'm going to take this opportunity to put some Rivnuts in here and then Rivnut this back to the wall, which I feel, for two reasons. One, just screwing it to the floor, probably not the strongest solution, and two, in a crash, you don't want any of this stuff moving really, do you? So screwing it all back, should be able to get at least five Rivnuts in across there into the existing hex nuts. Hello, Ginny.
Hello.
This is tight space.
should have done this as I was going. I didn't really know how it would all line up before it was together.
Rivnuts in, I've put 5 across there. And I need to just line them up with this, drill them, and then bolt them in. Bolts in. That was a trial. Just lining them up and getting it right was a case of trial and error, but they are in. We are now bolted into the van. I'm going to put a few more pocket holes into the bottoms of here, and then that really is pretty much ready to be screwed down, although I'm just going to wait to do the final screwing down until I've got everything kind of together. First bench seat panel is in, corner trim cut to size. Going to bring in the second one and then I can work out this final panel in there. That goes in there like that. Black trim on there, and then end one in there. Job's a good one. A little job I just want to do before I put this bench seat in is just finish trimming up the step, because then the bench seat will sit over that and it will be a nice finish. That is Bonza. It's so much nicer working on the van when the weather's nice. When the weather's you're just like, oh, this.
Like, even if we got it ready for summer, like, we would have had to have been away. It would have been pretty hard.
Well, I naively.
Like, even if we had the time, we didn't have a kid or anything. You know, like working in that weather was
Check it.
I filmed it anyway. Oh,
smooth.
That's nice, isn't it?
Looks really good. And how nice does that look? Looking at the van now. I'm really pleased with that grey.
Vinyl trim is in, looking pretty smart. Pretty happy with the finish on that. And then got this panel on, just screwed it on with a few pocket hole joints, but I've not put them all in. I've only put 2 of them in just because probably gonna have to take it out again, because Ginny I think wants some kind of storage hole here. Got the trim on the end. I've just marked on there with a piece of tape, and then I'm gonna just cut that. That tape as well will stop me scratching it. It's like aluminium, so it'll just scratch real easy with the saw. So yeah, let's give that a cut. Cut and positioned. I'm now going to make a template for this one and cut it out before I cut it out the real stuff, because I want to profile around this edge, and I feel like this is one of the hardest ones to do because I want it to look really smart. Do you ever do things and think, I've got this, it's going to fit, and then you put it in and you think, yeah, it's going to fit, look at that, it's going to fit, and then you think, oh, how have I categorically measured that bit so wrong? I was so focused on this bit. Never mind, eh? Try again. Test fit number 2. Let's see how she. Oh, just pop that down there. See how she fits. Ooh, not bad. That could be a little tighter, and this could be a little tighter, but overall I'm pretty happy with that. Final fit of the last panel, it is here. I've added a little bit of T-trim to the bottom, mainly just not so much to cover up anything, but mainly I just didn't want it to get wet, you know, if it's raining. Oh, it's pretty good. Pretty happy with that. Look at that. I don't think that's too bad, is it? Probably a little bead of silicone in there, just to fill up that gap.
and when that's pushed in and screwed, it's pretty good.
Next job, whip that off level. Wooden top on there. The top is being covered by the same people that covered the seats in the same colour. So it'll be like a little bench seat that will lift off. Storage. I wasn't sure on the colour of these cabinets. Actually, now it's in. I like it, but before, when it was in the workshop, I was like, this looks rough. And done. Next job is seat top. I've cut my bit of lightweight ply. That is going on there. And then I'm just going to round off these corners. Back on the annoying tiny cupboard, I've had to pull the kitchen apart again and take it out. The reason for this, obviously where our bed ends and where this cupboard is the wheel arch, which is why we couldn't fit the fridge any tighter up. If we could have fitted the fridge tighter up and not had this cupboard, I would have done that. However, it is what it is. We've got the kitchen cupboard, but it just means that whenever I want to put a shelf in it or anything, I've got to take it apart. So the plan for today is to get the shelves in this now that I've just put the vents in, and there's another one going down there and another hole going up there. So this is coming out into just under the bedroom, well, just into the kitchen underneath to heat the bedroom area. That hole there is for the, that's to join up with that. And then that's 90mm is to run a ducting through there, round here, and that goes through the kitchen and into one of those boxes and comes out, and that'll be a 90 diameter pipe from the auto-term heater. That slot there I've cut out for the hob. That sits low and it crosses over that, so I've cut that out. So jobs for today really are to get the shelves in here now that we know where the pipes are going, and get a door made and a door on, which I feel like is going to be more challenging than I realise. I've got the hinges, I've got some trim because I don't want to use the T-trim on the door because I want it square. So I've got some black iron-on trim, which I did a bit of an experiment with on the electrical cabinet, and it has worked, although you probably wouldn't want to use it everywhere because it's quite fiddly. And then I've got the door handle as well. So hopefully by the end of this afternoon, I should get this cabinet on and in, and then it's in permanently. The only thing to route through it after the heating ducts are some electrical cables, but there'll be plenty of room at the back for that. I'm just drilling the other side of these vent holes. If you drill them from both sides, it doesn't break out on one side, which is handy. Straight through. Look at that. Check out the neatness. Neatness. Holes drilled, shelves cut. Just been debating with Ginny for a while. One, location, and two, how do I secure these? Because I need to be able to take the shelves out. Anyway, what I've settled on is some runners underneath. This bottom one I think will not be screwed in. The other ones will, because you can get to them, but that one will just have to sit there. Back in the room, back in a summer's day, and just want to show you a little bit of off-camera work. That tricky cupboard is almost complete. So shelves are in, vents in, holes are now drilled, little back bits to the shelves are in, and these are all secured in. Little nice rounded bits there, just so you don't catch your hand when you stick your hand in. All in all, it's all systems go. Last thing I'm just cutting is this door, and that's what it will look like. Oh, look at this, it's coming together now. I haven't filmed this because it's just me putting some hinges on, which I guess, and these are just kitchen ones, but this is now, obviously I had to take it apart again to put these in. This is why this cupboard's so fiddly, but look at that. Look at the fitment. Oh. So that is the fitment. last job, soft close as well. Well, 2 jobs, iron the edges and try not to screw it up, and fit these, which are the most overpriced plastic bits of rubbish I've ever. These are Evo, I think Evo Motion or Evo something. 30 quid for like 6 of them, and we thought they were metal and they're just plastic. I'm just making a template for these stupid catches before I drill into that. You've got to route them out or something. Template made. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm just going to transfer that to the door and then cut it out. This stuff, kind of working it all out, just takes ages. Once you've got that made, I can use that for every door. Oh, I've just chipped it whilst cutting it. Look at it. I didn't film it because I'm trying to crack on, but hopefully the trim will cover it. Let's have a look. I'm going to use some iron-on edging tool to finish these edges. And then it's done. The small cupboard of pain is done. I know this just appears to be a tiny, tiny cupboard, but it is the bane of my life. I've probably said it a million times, but I can't work on this cupboard, and like all the other little cupboards can be worked on in the van. This has to be done before it can go in. But I'm super pleased with it. Look at it. Over arch, vents in. That all just needs lifting out. This bottom one lifts out. Just bang on that. Really pleased with it. And she is in, and in for what should be the last ever time. Look at it. Oh, cupboard. Our first bit of storage. There you go. Right, that's me signing off for tonight. I am knackered. Time for the final tour, or where we're up to with the kitchen. There is going to be a part 2 of this because it has taken a lot longer than I first thought. Where we are up to in terms of the build, or the kitchen build. So we've got all of the units in as you previously, or as you last saw. I have now got in all the ducting is now in position, and all the electrical cables are pretty much in position. I've just got the hob one to put in here. As you can tell, it's an absolute mess because there's no right order to do things, and yeah, basically you need to be working on bits and bobs. I'm steadily learning you need to be working on every area at the same time. Most of the cabling in. This cupboard is in and fully finished, as you can see. Fridge is in position. Have got the drawer unit to build in there, and then in here we're going to have 2 cupboard doors and some shelves. So that's kind of where we're up to. One thing I would say before we start totting up costs is the fact that I'm obviously not going to include my hourly wage or, man hours, but it is lengthy. I mean, the kitchen hasn't taken as long as the electrics and the electrical cupboard, but it has been a lot of work. So just bear that in mind if you're doing one. Right, I'm not going to update the board just yet because the kitchen is ongoing, but so far on the kitchen we have spent 2 sheets of the lightweight plywood from UK Leisure Supplies in Barnsley or something. Anyway, I went with those because the quality of their ply seemed the best, and also the weight of it seemed the lightest. It had the thickest laminate, yet it still had the lightest core. So £200 a sheet, that is £400 alone on that. We've also bought a load of kitchen hinges. Those stupid catches from Evo Motion was 30 something quid. Don't buy them, I don't recommend them. I think we're using them because we bought them begrudgingly. And I also bought a couple of specific hinges off eBay for the doors, which were something like £10 per pair. The black trim on the bench seat box was actually just offcuts from the bathroom. all in all at the moment, the kitchen owes us about 450 quid. In terms of man hours, it's quite lengthy, isn't it? Because of, you know, all the templating and all the... So at the moment, I would say we're up on the value if we were to buy one. We're cash rich, but we're time poor from it. Thank you for watching this video about our kitchen build. There will be a part 2 of this when I'm finishing off the kitchen, and we'll have a final breakdown of the costs. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a comment. Click here if you want to see how we built the bathroom, and click here if you want to see our latest video.